Hello, friends, and welcome to our March 2023 look ahead for the astrology outlook. So, my friends, we are sitting here firmly rooted in Pisces season. And so, what does that mean? Pisces is the sign of the zodiac that is a beautiful transition point for all of us in so many different ways. Pisces is the sign that comes at the end of the astrological calendar. What does that mean? It means that every December and January, as we are wrapping up our calendar year, we are still walking through the last few signs of the zodiac. And it's not until this time of year in March, towards the end, where we are wrapping up the astrological new year. Pisces season begins, let me just get this date right, on February 18th and runs through March 19th. And so this is the time astrologically where we are looking at the same kind of themes that we're looking at the end of the calendar year. So if you've been a little bit delayed on maybe setting New Year resolutions or picking a word for the new year or whatever it is that you do to demarcate and to celebrate the end of one year and the beginning of the next, now is the time in the astrological calendar where that feels more natural. So I know in January of this year, I was feeling a little bit delayed in all of the calendar year celebrations. So I'm using this time of year as the time when I can actually start celebrating the turning over of a new leaf. My body, the way my energy body interacts with the space around me, it feels more natural for me to do that at this time of year as we're approaching the spring equinox, which, by the way, the first day of spring on March 19th is also the first day of the new year astrologically. The astrological calendar really does follow a lot of the natural timeline of events that we see outside our windows in nature. It's one of the reasons why I adore astrology so much. It is the study of the passage of time. And so here we are, we're in Pisces season, looking at the transformation as the last sign of the zodiac, the closing of some doors to prepare for the opening of new doors. Again, it's that time of the year where we are looking at the spring equinox. We're starting to see buds on the trees, flowers sprouting. Here in Williamsburg, we have daffodils everywhere already. It is the reminder that life begins anew. And so we can't get there, we can't get to Aries season without walking through the end of the year or the quiet season that happens in Pisces. And so, what is Pisces? Pisces is the beautiful depth of emotion, of our ability to go inward in order to find our connection to everything that exists outside the physical. We are first and foremost a soul. We are first and foremost energy. And we came from an energy source that knows no bounds. At least that's my belief. And it is in going inward to ourselves that we can find and reconnect and reestablish and reinvigorate that connection to everything that exists energetically outside of the physical. That's what Pisces season is all about. It's the going inward to reestablish our outward connection. So Pisces is a very, very deep sign. And with that, we also walk through a lot of reconnecting energy to our spirit guides, our own personal spirit, our loved ones in spirit, our ancestors who have gone before us. All of these are themes of Pisces. So if you've been noticing yourself having deeper dreams, being more intuitive, finding yourself needing a little bit of extra time to sit and be quiet and be still, all of that is Pisces driven. With that, let's jump right into the forecast of Pisces season as well as looking ahead to Aries season a little bit. On March 10th, we really, even though the Pisces calendar began on February 18th, we don't actually start to feel the pull of the personal planets until March 10th, which, as this video is being recorded, was just yesterday. We had both the new moon in Pisces, which is a wonderful time to set intentions towards all of what we just talked about, as well as Mercury entering Pisces. And so our thought processes, our idea creation, our communication, things that are very heady are starting to feel into some of that Pisces energy. Then today on the 11th, we have Venus moving into Pisces. All of that has to do with our belief in ourselves, our self-worth, our self-value, the things we spend our money on. So if we're starting to kind of look intuitively there, that is also a very Piscean thing to do at this time. Um, then on the 19th, we have the sun transiting out of Pisces and into Aries. Aries, again, starts with the spring equinox. Happy New Year on March 19th. Yes, I'm saying Happy New Year because it is. It's the beginning of a new phase in time. We also then on March 21st have Mars moving into Pisces. So even though the sun moves into Aries on March 19th, we do have a little bit of some push pull happening because Mars, the planet of action and motivation and inspiration, isn't moving into Pisces, the last sign that we were sitting in, until the 21st, until 2 days after the sun moves into Aries. And so we've got a little bit of catch up happening. And we're going to notice that in a lot of these monthly updates for several months. It's going to be at the end of the sign when that motivation piece kind of comes in from the sign before. So just because the sun is shining in one part of the zodiac does not mean that we're all wrapped up with the previous sign. It's another reason I love astrology so much, because there's always an answer as to kind of why we're feeling what we're feeling. There's always this duality happening all around us because that's what life is, right? So the 21st, we have Mars moving into Pisces, which will actually stay in Pisces the entirety of the month of April. So we'll talk more about that next month, but it's an interesting point to note that throughout the month of April, which is when we'll be walking through Aries season, we will have a lot of motivating factors from Pisces. So if you are a Pisces, know that this could be doubly felt. Or if you have strong Pisces placements, it could be doubly felt for you as well. Then on the 25th, you guys, this is a beautiful part of the month. And in fact, currently we're sitting in a shadow phase leading up to it, but we are going to be experiencing eclipse season. So on March 25th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra. What does that mean? It just means that we are going to have relationships of all kinds. Libra, generally, anything that's Venus related has, in modern astrology, tends to be connected to romantic relationships only, but it's not just that. It can be that, but it can also be a shift or a transition or a transformation in our, family relationships, our friendships, our work partnerships, our work friendships, any place in which we have and have established community is undergoing a little bit of a change right now collectively. So how this actually expresses itself through your personal astrology is up to your personal astrology. Side note there, if you are interested in learning more about how this eclipse season might affect you personally, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to sit down with you over your chart and to look at some of how this current place and time is affecting you personally. But eclipse season every year, it happens in March, April, May timeframe, as well as the October, November timeframe. So this is the first set of eclipses that we're going through in the calendar year of 2024. And again, this full moon eclipse in Libra is going to be focused collectively on relationships, partnerships, friendships, and communities as a whole. That's what Libra is for us. Then in April, we'll have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. So we'll talk about that next month. But goodness gracious, eclipses are the time every year, and they occur about every 6 months, where changes happen. They demarcate the passage of time, of transition, of turnover. So if you're experiencing that right now, just know that it's perfectly on time and sit tight because eclipses can bring both challenging things to our worlds, but also really beautiful, sweet things too. So this can be the incoming of new friendships. It does not have to mean the ending of anything. It eclipses bring with them all kinds of beautiful things. So just know that transition, turnover, change, both on the leaving end, but also on the accepting end, are possible at this time. With that, I will leave you and have a wonderful rest of March, a wonderful rest of the Pisces season, and a wonderful beginning to Aries season. Have a good one.